How's it going, everybody? This is Dominic Minchella. I am the Kansas City Chiefs beat writer for On SI and the host of the Kansas City Chiefs Insider Podcast. Thank you guys so much for stopping in today. I hope you guys are having a great day thus far. Today, we're going to be continuing on talking about a topic from training camp that we've seen. And today, we're going to be talking about, once again, Josh Simmons. I say once again because we do cover Josh Simmons an awful lot on this channel, but given that he is a popular topic throughout training camp and a guy to watch, I promised you guys long ago that I would be giving you my insight, my takes, and everything that I know about Josh Simmons or about the Kansas City Chiefs and what's popular, what's trending, what is moving in the right direction for the Kansas City Chiefs. So with that, let's dive into Josh Simmons. We have another good update that we've seen thus far through training camp. Head coach Andy Reid has said that, Josh Simmons, he's looking good. Chiefs Kingdom, that's a good sign. For an offensive line that has struggled so tremendously, I would even go as far back as in 2023. It's kind of been a hit or miss position. And then, you have Patrick Mahomes, who has several God-given talents on his side for the game of football to just make it work. However, we saw last season that their offensive line was not good at all, specifically on the left side. So they went to go solidify it. They drafted and injured Josh Simmons, and we were told, and this is full transparency, head coach Andy Reid said it's going to be a work in progress with Josh Simmons. But that does not mean that he is in a position where he can't step into a prominent role, which brings us to the most recent discussion coming from head coach Andy Reid saying, he looked good out there. There's things that he's going to have to learn, and that's going to be expected. Rookies are not supposed to be a full finished product. But if you have your head coach telling you, hey, kid, you're doing a good job, it's only going to bode well for you. You know what I mean? So that's another thing. Here is a beautiful thing that hearing about Josh Simmons from the defensive side of the ball. He's been able to, show his teammates, both on the offensive and the defensive, that, he's the real deal. And his teammates have no other reason other to believe him until he proves that, or he shows them that he's taken a step back in his recovery. And for them, his ceiling is super high and the expectations are super high, but they're also approaching it from a sense of, this guy's coming into training camp, working his butt off to make sure that he can provide what he can in those expectations and being a first-round pick. So much so that Mike Dana, earlier today being Sunday, yesterday for watching it, the day that this comes out, he said, I think he's a hell of an athlete, man, following the Sunday training camp practice. He has a bright future. The sky's the limit for him. He comes in and day out, physical, athletic. It's great to see him working in with the ones and seeing him compete every day. And we have seen him take a step forward in the right direction. Going into this training camp, we all thought, it's just going to be a competition between Jalen Moore and Josh Simmons for the left tackle spot. From what we're seeing thus far, I think that Josh Simmons is the front runner for being the starting left tackle for the first week against the Los Angeles Chargers. And I say that alluding to my previous podcast where I touched on, the first offensive lineman was Kingsley Suamataia, Josh Simmons, Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, and Jalen Moore. But now that Jawan Taylor is starting to get back in, if Josh Simmons is doing good at left tackle, maybe you have Jalen Moore kind of competing for the right tackle spot. He has experience in both. Regardless, it is a good sign thus far to see, a guy on the defensive side of the ball, as well as the head coach who keeps on giving his 2 cents on how his first round rookie is developing, is only positive. And if you don't even want to take what we've seen thus far in training camp, let's go back to mandatory mini camp. Travis Kelce even said on his podcast with his brother Jason Kelce the comparisons to an NFL star already. He's a big guy. He's a dominant force to be reckoned with on the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line. And I know that this is a very high appraisal of him, but as a guy who almost fell out of the first round, but had early first round expectations, should he have stayed healthy, I feel like this is the kind of level that we have to hold him to. I understand that he's recovering from injury. The Chiefs do too. And still, it's been positive comment after positive comment. I know it's still early in training camp. The pads just got on. He's going to have to learn, Josh Simmons, that is, has to learn what the Chiefs want to do, what the Chiefs don't want to do. He has to make the adjustment from his collegiate days, especially last year with the Ohio State Buckeyes, into Kansas City with the Chiefs. It's a completely different ball game, even if it's the same game. There's the moves that might be able to stop collegiate guys might not stop guys in the pros. They're in the pros for a reason, but that does not mean that Josh Simmons can't develop himself into that high ceiling that the organization, players, myself, you see in him. That being said, though, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think. You can follow me over on X at Dom Minchella. We can talk about Josh Simmons all the time. We can keep you updated. You know my thoughts. I will keep you updated on him always, but you got to follow to make sure you don't miss anything coming out about the Kansas City Chiefs. I post and repost every single day. You can also follow us over at KC Chiefs on SI. Over on X, or our entire writing staff, they work tirelessly, and we're covering the entirety of the offseason that's going to bleed into the regular season and throughout the entire 2025 campaign. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, as always, I'm Dominic Minchella, your Kansas City Chiefs beat writer for On SI, telling you to be kind to one another. The world needs more of it, and I'll see you tomorrow.